This one mostly goes to the mothers.
I was about to go to bed, but I said, I can't just leave her hanging like that. Because I have raised three kids with three different personalities. Now, because I am a spiritual healer, I always want to know what somebody's sign is. But before I knew any of that about my kids, I always paid attention to their temperament from very small. I was a kid who got my behind beat on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, I'm a Sagittarius. I have a smart mouth, so I got popped in the mouth a whole lot. So, of course, I didn't want to handle situations with my kids the exact same way. So, I was the parent who gave warnings. And then I realized that the world is based on a reward system. So, I created something with my to use with my kids that I didn't have to use very often, but it made them aware of how their actions affected not only the people around them, but how they were then responsible for their actions. So it was called Torture Day. Torture Day is where everyone enjoys something that you love for a meal or to go to a place. Like, let's say he loves like the play park. You and dad go out there and play, and he has to watch. And if he cries, then we'll do the same thing again tomorrow. You're teaching him consequences. And because I don't really know, you didn't say how old your son was, but I'm going to think that maybe he's between the ages of 3 and 5. If he's below 7, there's a level of reward and punishment that he understands. If he's 2 years old, he's not going to get that. Because when they're 2 to 4 years old, they're like big toddlers. So they're genuinely like, they're not really getting it. So if you don't want to do what was done to you or dad, you have to be diligent about redirecting and using an authoritative voice that's not yelling, but is very adamant. Now, of course, that's easy for me to say because my voice is deeper. So my voice resonates at a very deep level. When I say, put that down, you hear me. And it might like frighten them, but I'm not yelling as high as I could possibly yell. Now, somebody else might think that's yelling, but it's not. So if he is between the ages of 2 and 4, it's you against him. I'm going to just be honest with you. It's you against him because he understands you better than you understand you. He actually understands dad better than dad understands himself. So that's why he knows how far he can go with each of you. He's like a little terrorist in the house because he knows everybody and he understands. He can tell y'all temperament. He can feel y'all energy. He know what kind of mood y'all in. So he knows how to like do things just at the right time. But you have studied him in the most adorable way. But you got to look at his patterns. And you also have to pay attention to how he pays attention to you. And also when he asks you for things. Now, if he is over the age of 4, let's say he's 5 to 6, maybe 7 years old, he clearly understands what the deal is. And he is definitely able to participate in Torture Day. So here is what Torture Day is. Let's say your son loves Chuck E. Cheese. And you normally take him to Chuck E. Cheese. But if he has a day where he's just not listening, he's had all his naps, he's just like throwing tantrums and he's trying to like lay on the floor. My kids, if they try to throw a tantrum, I would stand there until they finish and I would say, "Are you done?" Because I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? Because they feed off our energy. So the higher our energy gets, the more aggravated we get. They understand that we're already up there. So with Torture Day, I'm not going to keep talking to you over and over again. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to do something that most parents think is going to be mean. If I normally share things with you, and you haven't listened to me, whatever it is that I have, I'm not sharing. Now, I don't normally share anyway. But if I normally share, I'm not. Because I'm not going to reward you for one, aggravating me, two, for trying to get your way when I will give you mostly anything you want, and three, for calling yourself, trying to optimize the moment when you clearly can see that I'm at a point where I'm not really focused on I'm doing something. I'm not going to let you get over on me. So if it's torture day and they're between the age of 5 to 7, I'll even say 5 to 17 because I only had to do it 3 times and I had 3 kids and it was one time to each one of them. So what you do is you take them to their favorite place. The older they are, the more they get this because they learn that the consequences of their actions will be handled in a severe way. Because once they leave the house, how people treat them will not be how you and dad treat them. So let's say they like to go to Chuck E. Cheese. If they have not done what they were supposed to do, then they can't play. You can play, but you need to take somebody with you. You and that other person enjoy some kind of food or treat there, talking about how amazing it is. Bring them a snack, like a PB&J sandwich, but they can't have what you're having. On top of that, when you play games, they can watch you play games, but they can't play games. And the reason you're doing this is because when your child goes to a daycare center, a school, anywhere out in public, they're literally going to hold them accountable for their actions. If they don't practice with you and dad, how they're going to treat your child will seem extremely harsh to you. Now, some people might think it's mean. I don't want to have to be mean to my kids. But this is the difference between your kid becoming a teenager and slapping the hell out of you or not slapping the hell out of you. Calling you names out your name or not calling you out your name. If I am the person that gives you everything, that treats you, buys you everything that you need, and I cater to a lot of the things that you desire and that you require, you're not only going to respect me, but you're going to consider me in your actions. Now, if they're little, you still have to do some type of consequent and reward situation with them on a smaller level in smaller increments. Like if they're trying to get a snack out of you and they're stumping their feet, I literally would say, is there something wrong with their feet? And then they would look down at their feet because you have to bring focus to what it is that they're using to protest with. Is something wrong with your feet? Because if something is wrong with your feet, you definitely can't have a snack. We're going to have to wait because I think your feet are malfunctioning. They literally going to be like, what just happened? Or if they slam their hand down, oh my gosh, is something wrong with your hands? You need to be careful with your hands. They might fall off if you hit them too hard. It sounds like you're spending too much time doing that, but it's psychological for them. And if you take the focus off of what they're trying to get and put it on what they're doing with their body parts to protest, then they can't think and protest at the same time. It's mind over matter, mama. I'm going to tell you. It's you against the baby. It's not even you and dad against the baby, okay? Because dad wants to, use a little bit more force, but using what I've learned is from being a child who got their behind beat, it made me angry, it made me violent, and I wanted to resolve everything with my hands. So if you don't teach him how to resolve his anger now, he is going to be hell on wheels when he gets older. So you have to know how to stop your child in their tracks. And my first son is an Aries. And I'm able to stop him in his tracks by saying his name. And I'm fortunate because that doesn't work for everybody else. I'm just thankful that it works for me. So I hope this helps you and best of luck.